We're with Jackson Toomey, one of the 7 seniors on the Eastern Connecticut men's soccer team. Eastern just about done with its preseason, getting ready for their season opener on August 31st. Jackson, it was your fourth preseason with the program. How'd this year's go?
I thought we had a great start. It was exactly what we were looking for. Almost across the board, we had everybody come in in shape and at the right level of fitness, what we were hoping for, even with some injuries. Had everybody pretty much ready to go. And just right away, I think, we have a lot of returning guys who did a lot to improve, and then some of these newer guys coming in, they picked up right away on, how we like to play and what we were going about. So I think, on the field that there was a lot that we really improved on from years past.
When people come in fit, doesn't that expedite the preseason progression because you don't have to spend as much time on fitness?
Absolutely, yeah. So if guys are already in shape, then time that we may have to just spend running sprints or running around a track, things that you can do on your own, we can actually be on the field playing and start to get that understanding of how certain guys like to play and the system overall, how we're trying to all work together. So yeah, having that just sets us way ahead.
We didn't really talk about this, but do you guys get a summer workout schedule, or is it just strictly on your own?
No, yeah, so we have a plan that we hand out to everyone, and everyone's expected to complete that, coach and, the strength coaches here work on for us putting together. And then we also, too, one thing that we do that not a lot of other schools or teams doing, but we find ways to get guys together over the summer, so you're not just working out on your own, you're working with the team. And we have guys from all over New England, all of New Hampshire and Cape Cod, New York, and guys that we're finding ways to get them in the area so we can all just play with each other, train with each other, and get that understanding going.
Talk about what's your early season prognosis on the team chemistry. This is your 4th camp, so you sort of have had something to draw upon.
Right. It's been, that's been one of the highlights, honestly. We do a lot in our preseason where, we don't just want to have everything be on the field, but we want to get to know each other and do other things, because I think that gets overlooked a lot. It's just guys, really liking each other and knowing what each other are about, and getting that understanding is just as important as anything else you're going to do. So we eat all our meals together, we cook and clean together, we do other activities, and it seems like everybody's getting along. It's even from last year with so many of us back, we've all become such close friends, and these new guys right away, we've gotten to know them too, and they've figured out gotten right in the swing of things. So I think this year everybody has similar goals and is getting along great.
Isn't it nice to go into a preseason, since you've done it several times, and to know exactly what is going to be expected of you? No surprises, really.
Yeah, it definitely does help. That first year can be a little bit of a challenge, even though a lot of it is told to you before. We try to give our new guys, and same thing when I was a new guy, a really clear picture as to what to expect and what to go into. But it's one of those things that there's nothing quite actually going through it. So yeah, I talked with some of the other older guys, but it almost felt quicker this year. It's just crazy.
Oh, it must. It must.
It just goes so fast. But yeah, I don't know, I was happy with myself with how I was able to conduct myself this preseason. I think if you talk to most of the other returners, they'd all say the same thing.
Do you think you came into shape better this year than maybe your freshman year, or were you ready your freshman year?
I think, fitness-wise, that's something I kind of take pride in.
Okay.
So. But yeah, I think because even more, I want to be able to play as many minutes as is needed. So it's not just getting in shape to be ready for those first couple practices, but over the summer you're getting in shape to, go through the entire season. And the better your fitness is too, the less injury prone you are. So that's another thing to consider when you're going and working out, is I wanted to be in a place where I can compete, and also I'm less likely to get hurt.
We've had years since Coach Vito's been here, where we've just been decimated by injuries. And I guess one thing is to come in shape, but sometimes it's just going to happen, even if you're in shape.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we deal with that a little bit now, but so does every team, you're saying, since he's been here. So we just, doing our best to have those, because when you are hurt, you can't control that, but there's still a lot that you can do to speed up your recovery, and also be in the best shape possible when you do come back. So I think our guys are really committed to taking like the injury rehab seriously.
You guys have 7 seniors, which is a very big class for Coach DeVito. Talk about some of the demands that Coach DeVito places on his players.
Well, he does expect a lot out of us, like not only as players, but as people, whether that's what you're doing in class, what your study habits are like, even things like when you're walking around campus, how do you interact with other people, how do you introduce yourself, how do you carry yourself. So yeah, like at times it can be a lot, but it's all for a reason. We're not doing things just to do it. It's something that we hope like as guys buy into that by the time they're at my shoes and when you're getting to your senior year and you're graduating, that you're a better person than you were at the beginning.
And that's what he's looking out for.
Exactly.
Although some players don't see it until they graduate.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had a great year last year, 15-4, got to the conference semifinals. When you came in as a freshman, the team had a run of very, championships and winning records. You come in as a freshman, and even your first 2 years, you struggled a little bit. Did you sort of shake your head and say, wow, I mean, we should be better than this, or this program is better than this?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's that whole growth that we talk about is, that's what we really like strive for, and what we stress is just trying to improve and, make yourself better with how you think and how you act. So yeah, I mean, we'd be lying if we said we were happy with how those first couple of years went. With the teams we had, we should have done a lot more, but I think that we've learned a lot through those as to, how we do need to carry ourselves and how you do need to prepare and just how to play. And so I think that the fact that we have such a big senior class is we have a big group of guys that like took it upon themselves to not just be satisfied with who we were as freshmen, but instead of like really committed to improving and getting better, and that it's showed in us getting a little bit better every year.
If you had to look at one or two things last year when you were 15-4 that maybe you didn't have your first 2 years, do you think it would be something like experience and just playing together that resulted in last year, or was there more than that?
Experience is definitely part of it. I mean, once you've in your third go around for my class, like you already have a better idea as to like what the other teams are going to look like, what you're going to need to do. So experience definitely played in, and I think just like the attitude of guys, wanting to like really help each other, and like we wanted to play for the group last year. And so I think guys, taking those things that maybe they struggled with in the past and committing to improving on that and getting themselves better in those areas, I think that was a big key to it too.
It seems like with Coach DeVito's players that you either buy into it and you commit yourself, or you're not with the program for very long. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you can't fake it. There's a lot, like we said, a lot asked of you. And for guys that, if it's not what you want to do, then it's not what you want to do. But the people that stay and the teams that have success are the people that like want to be here and take those lessons and try to like do the best with them. So yeah, I think it's not one of those, it's not for everybody, but the guys that stick in and figure it out, like if you look at some of our guys that have like graduated recently or been here recently, like it pays off in the long run.
15-4 last year overall. Can you remember a couple of points last year or a couple of games that were really highlights, that were really a lot of fun? We were talking about that Western regular season game, which was one.
Yeah, that was one. I mean, really, the beginning of the year, we came out just flying. And I think a lot of that was some of our new guys and just our mentality. And then, it changes a little bit when scouting reports get out to people, and we were able to adjust with that well. But like you said, that WestConn game, yeah, it's a fun one. We, start down 2-0 quick. They, kind of really came at us at our home field, and like the attitude of everyone, like no one's head dropped, no one changed, and we're able to come back with 4 goals of our own. And then after we get those 4, they even bring one more back, and so at the end of that game we just see you're committed to defending and getting everything out. But yeah, it's always fun when we play them. It's another good team that we like to compete with and we got a lot of respect for.
You guys started out 8-1, like you said, that you came out flying. The one loss at Keene, were you guys sort of hoping that you might see them again?
Yeah,
in the playoffs, or no?
Always. I mean, we, like we were saying before, like this is a competitive league. Like all of the teams, like there's no cakewalks. Everybody competes and everybody can play. So, yeah, I mean, we knew that if we were going to see Keene again, we were going to be ready, and we were going to change some things from that first go around. It would have been nice, but again, we just whoever was going to get thrown at us, we were trying to just focus on them and get through that one.
Do you think this program and the players in it pride themselves on the fact of making tweaks and adjustments as the season goes along to get better?
Yeah, I think any good team has to do that. You can't plan for everything that's going to happen, like whether it's an injury or with the scouting is so good now that once you win your first 5 games, then the team's going to come out and see what you did, and they're going to try to take that away. So then the next step is being like, all right, so if they're taking away what worked, like what's going to work now? But then at the same time, we have like a style that we like to play in a system, so we don't want to like change that too much for anybody.
Yes.
But it's finding that balance of like what works, and then also sticking with like the plan and what we want to do.
Well, Jackson, I know you had a lot of fun the last couple of years. Your brother Will, who's had a great career already, and it just started. How much fun is it to play with your brother? I know you did it in high school, and we talked about this, is that when high school ended for you, because you're ahead of him, when high school ended, you thought maybe that would be it?
Yeah, that was an emotional last game when I went out my senior year, because
in high school.
Yeah, in high school, because we weren't exactly sure, thinking like maybe that was going to be the last time, and as but like him and my other 2 siblings, the 4 of us, like that's those are my best friends, my everything. So having this experience again, like finding out he was going to come here and then going through this year is like, it's I couldn't ask for anything else. Like it's just fun being out there with him. Like we've been through a lot together, obviously growing up together. So yeah, I really appreciate being able to still play with him.
Is it the kind of thing with him that when you're on the field together, you just look at each other or glance at each other and you know what the other one's doing? Is it that kind of thing?
Yeah, and also too, we can kind of, I think, like pick up each other. Like if one guy is struggling a little bit, like it's a lot of times just like a look or something. But yeah, we definitely have that understanding of having done this forever, and then even with like other guys on the team, because we've gotten so close with them, like they know what we want to do, and we're always like around with each other and stuff. But yeah, I get like we kind of just get each other.
Did you think he was obviously one of the best freshmen in the conference? Mm-hmm. Did you see him coming in and having that role, being that good, that quick?
Yeah, that's if you know Will and like know how much he works and how competitive he is and how much this means to him. Like no surprise at all. I figured he'd do just that.
It sounds like you guys, not knowing Will that well, it sounds like you guys temperament and work ethic are pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean, we both, try to push each other, and I talked to Catherine about it, but I think that kind of helped me a lot going between sophomore year and junior year, is like knowing I was going to have him back, and, we, work a lot together during the summer and like with other guys around, like just to get that to that next level. But yeah, that, one thing we try to pride ourselves on is like not taking anything off and like trying, working hard to be the best that we can.
Well, you guys got virtually everybody back this year, at least every position player. You lost Brian Murphy, who had in goal, who had a phenomenal 4-year career. Yeah. You guys are number 1 in the preseason poll. My guess is that in the preseason Little East poll, my guess is that Coach Vito is not letting you guys get your head swelled over that.
No, you can't, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a nice look, but it's that's just what some people voted on. So, when you walk out and we're the number 1 team and we play a team that got rated number 5, like it doesn't mean anything once you're playing. You still got to go out and take it. So you don't want to dwell too much over the fact that you got put number 1 in the preseason poll. Like we already expect a lot out of ourselves. Mm-hmm. We didn't need a vote or anything to bring those expectations up, and we still just got to go take care of business. We had a pretty good year last year, but that doesn't mean anything for this season. It's all new, so we just got to keep going.
Starts over.
Yeah.
Last question. Any tangible goals that you guys have talked about?
Well, yeah, I mean, the goal is always to, reach the NCAA tournament and, get as far in the NCAA tournament as we can. We want to try to advance. The best way to do that is by winning our conference tournament and just getting that automatic bid. So, it's a process all the way through. You can't just sit here and say the one thing you're worried about is winning your first NCAA tournament game. It starts with what are we going to do in preseason, and then what are we going to do with each opponent, and then, you know, hopefully we're in a position at the end of the year to advance a little bit and have some fun.
Well, I think it's going to be a fun year. And so Eastern Connecticut opens up its season on August 31st. They're going to host Medgar Evers College at the Mansfield Outdoor Complex. Jackson, thanks for being here. Have a great final season.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.